Hey everybody, we're back doing another video. This one I've been putting off for a while. We've done a PRas 3 video before, but these were interesting when they came in, and I've been wanting for quite a while to do a look over them. They haven't been selling, so I haven't had a motivation to just get it done. Now that we're moving a bunch of things around, I thought it'd be a good time to finally get into them. So, the reason we're doing this video, as you can see up here on this sheet, that this one says Jamma wiring, video splitter, CAPCOM IO. Like, there's some of these have some interesting stuff in them. So this one I think is just a normal PRas 3. This one back here has a Type X3 in it with a FastIO. So there's really interesting stuff that this arcade had done with them. And we'd mentioned before, you can use these cabs for quite a lot of things, but we'd never seen one come in that way. All of the ones that I've ever seen in Japan were always operating their original hardware. So I think, and I can't really go too much into this, but like I've even heard stories about Sega getting really ornery about mentioning that you can use them for anything else or doing it or whatever. So like they really want you to use the actual hardware that's for them. At any rate, I just wanted to do a video looking over these to kind of show what people have done. And well, I guess not so much people, but what arcades in Japan have done, because people out here, we're doing them, we're modifying these for all sorts of stuff. Anyway, it was just cool because it came out of Japan that way. So let's go ahead and just start with this one, which I think is original. And like you can see, we've written on all of them. They've all been, we've already gone through and tested them all and whatnot. But so it won't be on that. But mainly, this video is going to be to show the whatever the random stuff we found inside. Okay, let's start with this first one. Like I said, I'm pretty sure this was just a normal one. Open it up so that you can get fresh in your memory what to no, I guess never mind. This one's got no PC. So, but I can see from the wiring and everything, this is unmodified. It just needs an ALS. I mean, it would just be an ALS there. That's all. You're not really missing much. So no point in powering up this one. Now that I think it even says on it, doesn't it? Does it somewhere? No, it does. Oh yeah, no PCB. Okay, cool. But like, I'm gonna come back. I've got a spare ALS sitting around that I can throw in. Yeah, I guess there's no point in looking over this one. Let's go ahead and jump straight into, I guess, this other one, which I think is also just normal. Let's see if there's anything in here that we want. Special. Nope, no PC in this one as well. We might have pulled these for something else at some point. I mean, if we really want to, there's nothing really to no point. Okay, so we'll tuck these aside. It's probably going to be these two then. So the other thing that I had noticed is these, I don't know if their side panels broke or what they did. They are missing the original side panels, and these are from Chrono Regalia here. And I mean, I've had a couple of them break in shipment and other things like that, and apparently you just can't, you cannot buy these spare. So I actually have a spare set of these. It was in one of the previous box opening videos that I got, just so that if I have to on someone's cab, I can do that. But the interesting thing is so these were a conversion from Soul Reverse, Chrono Regalia. I think Chrono Regalia went to Soul Reverse and then that to this. But like, I almost wonder if these were never PRas 3s and someone had just bought a control panel, because they've come up on Yahoo Japan, and that way they're just skipping the APM3 part entirely. So I don't know. Anyway, just a little bit of background. Let's go ahead and get into this first. Oh, we did this one. Tuck this aside. So let's get into the first one. Since we've got this one here in front, let's take a look at it. This one was the Jamma wiring one. These did not come with PCBs, so who knows what they actually were running in them. But let's go ahead and take a look at this. This is nothing, there's not going to be anything crazy special in here. It's just, I mean, like, if you've been in any arcades, you've seen stuff hacked into cabs and whatnot. And let's pull this out. So there's a PC power supply here. Where's that? No, that's a Delta One. Yeah, that's a PC power supply. Okay. And so this had a CAPCOM IO. I don't know why, considering it would have been JVS anyway, or yeah, JVS anyway. So here we've got JVS power, and it's just an adapter that they made themselves into this ATX power supply here. And we'll open up the back of it and see what's going on, because we've got a USB and probably a JVS there. We've got audio, a little audio splitter here. I don't see any Jamma harness. I wonder if that already got pulled out. Later in the section, I'll come back after I look into it, but let's see. So nothing really special in there. I'm going to look under the control panel on this too to see if it's, you know, if anything's been done. Nothing in there. Okay, so it is actually, they did completely bypass the original Sega harness here, and that's this. So we're probably going to want to see some things in the back. You can see this is kind of just hacked up. Actually, it's rather clean for Japanese tech work. I've seen some pretty disgusting tech work, but we've got 2P. So this was probably 2P of a 2-player setup, which makes sense because I think there was a fifth. Isn't there 1, 2, 3, 4? There. Oh, unless we converted it. I don't know. I thought there was a fifth cab. Another one that was it was supposed to be one Jamma standalone and one that was a pair head-to-head. I think maybe we already shopped that one out and sent it out. I don't know. But yeah. Anyway, you can see this is like a regular older Sega candy panel, and they just modded it into there. Yeah, all the rest of the wiring, the original wiring, is there. This can probably go back to original pretty easily. Let's go ahead, pop open the back. Okay. Oh, there we go. There's the Jamma edge, or not Jamma edge, but there's the Sega the CAPCOM IO. Oh no, there's Jamma. Okay. So it's in the back. A lot of that stuff in the front then is just not used. So you can see here's where the control panel harness goes up there. It's run into here, and that runs into this Jamma harness. You've got your Sega or Capcom kick there. Got more the player 1 harness. So this would essentially probably run into the other cabinet. You've got Capcom IO. Like, I wonder if this was running like Street Fighter 2 or something like that. Let's see what those USBs go to. So there's this one. Yep, that's what I thought. So over here, come take a look. This is something that you have to do, unfortunately, with this IO if you want to use the, where is it? The JVS port. So normally, like you can see where the screw holes are, you have to use a right angle USB cable to get anything in there. And, you know, the ports are there, they're just not populated. So on my cab, I have a right angle one to access it. And you can see here's the USB. And that was, I think they're all tied up over here. All the old hookups. So that looks like this cab will be able to go back to normal, which more than likely is what I'll do, and all this stuff will be pulled out. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I may come back actually and hook something up to this so that we can see, you know, what it does, how it works. I think it'll be really cool as well. That'll be in the second half. Here's that video splitter that we were talking about that more than likely is for you know, this being a head-to-head setup. I would guess, especially since they were using this, that it was used for something that was high res, because I don't see a scan converter or anything in here. So I might actually hook this up. I don't know, we'll see. I would love to be able to, you know what, Atomic Wave does 31. I'll hook that up and we'll see, you know, how it works and stuff like that. So we'll come back to it though. I'm gonna, obviously, like I said, if there was a pair to this, it's or you know what, since neither of these had PCBs, let's open up the backs of them. I think one of those might have been the pair to one of these, and we'll see if there was anything inside unusual. For now, put this back together. So I have a feeling it's this one. Yep. Guess who called it? I'll explain why in a sec, but in the meantime, if you'd like to guess how I knew it would be this one, here if you want to get a look at the cab. And yeah, but I'll mention it later. Anyway, so yeah, this was actually the pair to the Jamma cab. And that third one might actually, I don't know if that third one might actually also be a Jamma cab, but there you go, you've got the player 2, or the player 1 harness rather. So this just snakes into that one connector that I mentioned there. I will hook all of this up and we'll come back later. So you can see here is the other end of what would be the VGA splitter. And you can see some of the stuff here is disconnected. And I bet you the same thing you're gonna see up there. It's gonna be the hacked in harness. You know, why not? It's not too much trouble to do it. Let's just flip this around. I'll open that one up too. And yeah. So for reference, there's 3 things about these cabs that tell me that this is the pair. Oh, that's stuck. Maybe I won't open this. Yeah, forget it. Okay, well let's take a look at the last one. And well, actually no, that's right. The last one is the Type X3. So for whatever reason, this was an NXL2. And this one, the modification should be relatively simple. Because I think this connector is going to be the same as the FastIO, so they just put this in, wired stuff up directly. I wonder, I'll want to open this up and see how they mounted the card reader for this to be compatible. And then there's just a Type X2 with NXL2 on it there. And I will fire this up. It's just going to go to a what's it called, network error, but it'd be cool. You see just everything else that isn't needed is disconnected there. So let's pop open that control panel. Then I'll take a break, get these hooked up, get them running something, and you guys can see how this stuff looked, what they intended with it. For reference, I can tell which ones were the pair because they both had the instruction sheet up here. They both had colors changed out to pink and green, and they both had these side wings, which indicated that, you know, since these didn't, those were probably a pair together. Anyway, okay, so coming up here, it looks like, again, they did away with the original harness, which actually kind of sucks because if it's not in there somewhere, I can't actually convert this one back to normal. But again, they're just using, actually, now that I think about it, yeah, they're just using the harness from a Vuelix. This is just a Vuelix harness to hook it into there. You know, it makes sense. This stuff is pretty easy to do. And then here's the card reader PCB for title readers, and they just ran the other end inside of the IMEI reader. So if the IMEI reader parts aren't there as well, then this also might be another cab that can't really be converted back easily. But I mean, you can see, like, yeah, they have this NESiCA label over the IMA one. So anyway, that's just, it's an interesting little piece. So when we get back, I'm going to line these two up, the Jammas. I'm going to hook up a board, and we'll kind of look at it a little bit, and I'll fire this up, and we'll at least get to that network error, and you can take a look at it. So we'll be right back. Okay, so I got this pair set up. This was the quote-unquote Jamma ones. Looking at it, and you know, of course, you look at the art. I think this was more, they were running MVC2 in this. Or is that, no? Is that Guilty Gear? I guess they were, no. Oh, yeah, no, yeah. CVS2. So there was CVS2. I was going to say. Anyway, they were running CVS2, but it does have the Jamma setup. I've got it all up and running. You can see I've got King of Fighters running, and I'll kind of explain why. But anyway, I really wanted to just check this out, see what we got. So first up, let's go ahead and look in the control panel. I don't remember if we looked at this earlier. But you can see here, this is the original harness, everything coming out. And it's just tied off on the side here. One thing of note with this mod that makes me really happy is that none of this was cut. Nothing was spliced. They're just feeding off of what exists in the cab, which is great because this is going to go back. You know, this cab is going to be sent out, and you know, someone will be able to either put an all back into it or do something else with it. And then you can see here, so there's this harness. This is tied into the Jamma harness, and they just have a regular Sega harness going up to the buttons there. So if you wanted, for this part, if you wanted to go back, you would just take this out and hook this back up, and then the control panel is good. On the bottom here, there's nothing in the bottom there worth noting. On the bottom here, we've got this power supply, and there's an adapter here that runs Naomi. So it does not have the 6-pin one. Like it probably doesn't need it, but it's got that, and it's got the GD-ROM power right there. So like that's, you know, that was the first thing I saw. I was like, oh yeah, they're running a Naomi in here. The other thing is they had a CAPCOM IO in there too. So even though they had this whole setup Jamma, they still had that, and I was kind of confused. I wonder if it just doesn't work on this IO. No, it should. We done our previous video, we tested it. So no, it should work. But yeah, for whatever reason, they were using a CAPCOM IO. You know, God knows why. So there's a power switch on the power supply there. This is actually not plugged into anything right now because, you know, I wasn't powering a Naomi. I'm just using the Jamma. I wanted to check that. So that was that. You would normally have, like, they would have normally had that plugged in. There's a JVS. There's two cables here. We'll go around the back. You'll see your plugged in JVS. Coming around back here. So this is what I've got wired up, and we'll start by looking in the back of the cab. So you can see, like, this is that. There's the other one we looked at. That thicker gray consolidated cable there is just going up to the control panel and replacing the original harness. It comes down here, goes into this Jamma harness, so you just have a 1P and 2P. The only things that go over to the other side is there's a VGA splitter here, so you have the video, and you have player 2 there, and you have a separate harness. This one, I think that's just, I don't remember what that was. But anyway, there's only two things. Whichever cab or whatever they gutted this from, this would have been the video connector. Obviously it's not needed here. I used the Atomic Wave because it has VGA out. It does 15 and 31. It's much easier to hook up than a Naomi, I figured. Well, it's one of also the only Jamma boards that you can output 31K on. So it was convenient. So with Atomic Wave, you just set dip switch 1 on. Just makes it quick and easy for testing. I don't have to finagle with anything. Yeah, so up here, the IO, you can see even, so they unscrewed the IO, and there's the screws for it, so it can be put back in. I think, I don't know if I did in my, I think I did in my previous PRas 3 video, if you want to plug in JVS here, you just get want to get a right angle USB cable, so that you can actually, you know, screw this back in. Otherwise, it won't fit. But they've got both in. So this leads me to, I don't know why they needed the CAPCOM IO then, because if they're obviously they were using this to JVS link to cabs, which again I don't know why they bothered with that, because I wonder if they've run like multiple things. They must have run multiple things in here, because like this setup for input is going through the original harness, and that's going to end up being separate from. Looks like this might have been cut at one point. So maybe not perfectly clean, but you know, still. Anyway, they must have tried different things or whatnot when they're in the process, but like nothing else is clipped. So this is I believe it's pulling. This looks like it should be 12 volt. Did they? Oh, they just used whatever they had, because that's both 5 and 12. So this is actually, looks like that's actually 5 in the middle there and 12 here. They just used a connector or something and moved the pins around. Let's see. So 12 volt coming. That middle one here. I don't know. Well, that's about right. Yeah, because that's 12 volt. And then 5 volt is this one. And it's plugged in whatever green is. I don't know. I assume, so, I mean, this is obviously pulling power from somewhere. So I would think that should actually be 5 volt and 12 volt into the Jamma, and it works obviously. And then over here, there's this. Oh yeah, that's right. That was what the other connector going over is this. This just goes to the coin service test panel, whatever, in the other cab. So those are the only 3 things going over. There's video, that, and that. The other that should is audio, and I didn't bother routing around and seeing what they were doing, because audio is not on. Well, where is it? Audio is here on the Jamma, but I didn't bother hooking it up. I mean, you could, but that would have been audio. You just make an adapter to, you know, that port there maybe. And you can see up here is all the rest of the stuff for the alls is just tucked away for now. What else? So I guess let's go over to the other cab real quick. And so you just see there's the 3 lines coming in, video up there. This line going over to the test service buttons and coin, and then this one going into the control panel. And then, yeah, so the I/O here is not plugged in. It would be, you know, assumed that long one ends up plugging into here for like a linked Jamma or linked JVS setup. But like I said, you know, everything is still there and nothing seems to be clipped out or anything. And yeah, like I mentioned, you know, like this harness is normally loose on the PRas 3. It's just empty. So they made that adapter. Like I don't think I'm going to use this setup, but I'll probably pull it out since the person this is going to is not going to be using it. I don't think we are either, but you never know in the future when you're going to wish you had it. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, so I guess this apparently was spliced in. Oh, that would make sense. You know what? On this one, they didn't bother making another connector. I'll have to clip this. I bet you anything that's just coin. They don't have test and service on this side, so they just hijacked this. Hopefully, did they? Man, that might be the only thing that I don't think it'll matter for where it's getting used, but I'm going to check the other one and see, because that, unless there's no coin at all on this side, and that's maybe coin blocker. I don't see a. Do you see another clipped line over here? You know, hang on. Let's see. Let's see what works. Go ahead and hit the test and service buttons.
I can't do it.
Oh, you need a key. Well, Lottie frickin' da. Where did we put that key? Is it still on? It's still on the horse game. No? Yeah, here we go. Okay. Anyway, let's come back also to this one and just take a look. So, looks like that. I might have to just clip that too. That's unfortunate. Because I was hoping to avoid any cutting. Hopefully that, let's see what that has to, oh, you know, where does that go? Let's go look for one of the office real quick. Okay, and I did kind of go back and forth and try to take a look at this stuff earlier to inform myself in advance, but maybe not enough. So this is all the stuff coming out here. Which connector is it? So yeah, like you can see here, this is the loose power connector that's on there. It's just not used in this game. This one has this stupid... I'm gonna try one of the other ones out in the warehouse. Yeah. So I don't know. It's probably one of these. Yeah, I'm gonna try one in the warehouse. Yeah, we're gonna have to take a look at one of the other ones, I think. What's maybe this one right here? I think this is probably the one that we're gonna come back to last in the video. I think this is the one that had the, oh, it's fucking screwed in. One of these had the Type X3 multi in it. Is this one? I don't know. Oh, this one's already open. Okay, so I can definitely see here. Which, I've already forgotten which connector I'm looking for. It's this sucker. Oh, it's underneath, not up above. So underneath, and it's... Can I even reach that? Yeah, I can. Okay, this guy here. Oh, no, it is loose. Okay, it is, wait, unless... This one's also just weird, but that's, and that's just an unused connector, I guess. Interesting. I really do want to look at another one. Go back to that one again and try again, I guess. It's the only other PRas 3 I have readily available that might... That board's probably, yeah, it's covering it. Scotty, grab that screwy driver and let's pop up on the back of this one. If you could. Try and get that. I have a feeling that that is actually just supposed to be loose. But, so at any rate, that's probably going to have to be pulled. This one will have to be clipped because, you know, whatever loose end that's on the other one isn't there. Over here, this, oh, you know, I don't know, that has to be a mod, because the other cab that has it too might also have been one of the Jamma ones. Hopefully this one's a little more original. Give this a better idea, probably. Okay. Yeah, probably. Well, I don't know. This has wire clippings too, but oh, this one's. Whew. I think this is the Type X one. I don't know. Well, if anything, that might be the only thing that's tisk. Okay, let's go ahead here. I'm gonna put this back down. Let's go ahead and try test service and coin. I bet you anything it's just coin that is activated on this, and I wonder if that harness is just an extra, like, okay, so service nothing, test nothing, and coins it up. Yep. So at any rate, I'm gonna have to clip that out probably, and hopefully enough of that original wiring is still in there. Let's see here. I think it is, so I'm gonna trace some things. So, I mean, this is going into the cab harness, so this is obviously, this looks like a modification. Is there anything? I don't know. It's interesting because, so this one, is there loose wires there? No. Are there just multiple ports that correspond with those? I don't see any clipped wire up here. I don't see, should be fine. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know about removing it. I'll see you later. Anyway, that's that. You see the only things going over there. Let's go around the front, and again, I don't have audio up, but that's fine. We know that stuff's easy. So you can see over here, we've got service works on this side, coin works on this side, and test menu. So test mode worth checking out is come here to IO test, and we've got all 5 buttons. Come over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and start joystick. So, I mean, you can, I don't know if you can even see it, you can probably see it in the video, but like the time between click and, it's definitely got some lag. So, but I mean, it looks cool. This is definitely a setup that can be used, and it was just interesting to see what they did to make all this work. But actually, that might just be the menu, because this doesn't, the latency here doesn't feel so bad. So anyway, yeah, I mean, that's all we really got on this head-to-head Jamma portion. I think last thing I'll do is I'll come back with this guy over here, the one that was Type X3. I was going to install one of the Type X3 multis on it so that we could check it out a little bit more. Yeah, so we'll be right back with that part. Just hold tight, and almost through it. Be back soon. All right, so I got this cab ready for the last bit of this video, a little test. So I'm gonna come around here, go ahead and flip it on, and while we're at it, I'm gonna take a look at what's going on inside. So I put in my test RTAX multi. This is just the stock one, nothing modified or anything, but yeah, anyway. So let's start out with the control panel up here. You can see it looks like they completely removed the original harness here, which is unfortunate. So this one is probably not going to be able to go back. I'm actually in the process. I'm going to be taking some photos of this and listing this as a as more of a project cab. But anyway, yeah, so then over here also in the card reader, they actually, I was curious about this before I opened it up. They went and they took the NESiCA reader and they just shoved it into where the iMay reader should be. I don't know if the iMay reader is gone, but come down here. Can't really see in there, but they basically shoved that in there so that the NESiCA reader would work. You can see the VFD is disconnected. Come around here. So yeah, and then they just stuck these NESiCA stickers on them. Okay, let's go to the front. Here's the control panel harness going up there. That's probably the original one from a Vuelix or something, and it's just slipped into here. And you can see, like, you know, that's where the other control panel should have. Well, anyway, let's see. Go down here. You can see it just comes down there and it's spliced in. That's the test and service buttons, I believe. Got power there. And I don't know if that's spliced in somewhere up there, but you got your FastIO here. In the back, so you can see there it goes into the test panel there. All the rest of this seems to be relatively normal. You can see the JBS IO is still hooked up, but you know, nothing plugged into it. And I think that's about it. So let's come around the front and we can see, you know, like we got this up and running, and you know, this is hooked up. It's relatively normal. So go ahead, you start something up, and let's see here. Okay. But yeah, I mean, like nothing really special here. It works. So actually, put this back down. Yes. I did not plug in the touchscreen on this or anything, but should be good to go. I think I need to upgrade that X3. Doesn't run all that great, but anyway, just fire it up and see it works.
Story. Member select.
But let's go. Come on. So yeah, it's just interesting that they decided to do this with this cab rather than you know, any number of the other cabs that are a little bit more set up for it. But yeah, like everything works and whatnot, it's all good to go. So you know, anyway. Yeah, these were just interesting. I'm not sure what arcade they came from or anything like that, any of the history behind it, but just like, it is neat to see the stuff like this done, because you go to arcades in Japan, you're not going to see a lot of this. You know, most places people go are, you know, going to be very mainstream. Everything is proper, but there's a lot of little arcades that are like this, and yeah, you don't get to see it often. So anyway, that's it for this this little interesting PRas 3 video. I hope you enjoyed it. We had fun looking these over. It took us a while to get to it, so yeah. We'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.